Morning everyone, and welcome to What Have We on Thursday, the 31st of August, and the week has rushed away, with Mike and Nadia and the jingle, and officially the last day of summer. So what have we read? We've been carrying on with Habakkuk, who's a really interesting guy. It's only 3 chapters, right, in a very short book in the Bible. But actually, I just discovered a big guy in the Jewish faith and in also with Muslims. And in fact, both claim that he's buried somewhere in their territory. So interestingly, there's a tomb in Israel, in a place called Kadarim, and there's also a shrine in Thur in Iran, which is interesting. There is some question about the one in Israel because the identity of the person there is not completely clear. Interestingly enough, the shrine in Iran is visited by both Jewish and Muslim people of Jewish and Muslim faith who visit their respects there, which is actually very interesting. So a guy that can kind of find common ground with between all the faiths. It's very nice. But anyways, tell us about the passage. You said there was 2 bits to it, right?
Yeah, so because we had here the ending of chapter 1, which is mostly Habakkuk's complaint. So he's complaining, asking God, why is God sending trouble? Why is he sending those Chaldeans? Why is he not interfering with all the evil things that are happening to his people?
And he says, you made people like the fish of the sea, like crawling things that have no ruler. It's interesting. The enemy brings all them up with a hook. It's intriguing. And then there's a second part, isn't there?
Which is Lord's answer to Habakkuk's complaint. Good morning.
Hi. 103.
So God is answering, and apparently here an important phrase is the righteous live by their faith.
Right, it's towards the end.
Towards the end within what God is replying. And I read that later this phrase was used by St. Paul in some of his letters.
Okay. He's referred to this.
Those key things.
That's very interesting. And it says in that second half of the reading, he says, God's saying, look at the proud, their spirit is not right in them.
But the righteous
live by their faith. And there's more of a wealth is treacherous. The arrogant do not endure. And like death, they never have enough.
And we can see it also. So
it is true. When you believe in wealth and things, you never really seem to have enough of it. And once you got, the more you have, the more you. I remember when we were working for, used to work for, and Thur says God wanted us to be patient, and that everything will happen in God's good time. When I used to work a lot in advertising cars, and we always used to get access to quite nice cars to drive, just to try them out from competitors and from other people. So some very nice Mercedes and stuff like that. And I remember when it was amazing because when you had these cars, somehow you sort of wanted something more. It was sort of weird. And then when you didn't have the car, you kind of like thought, oh, it'd be nice to have this car for the weekend or borrow it for a few days. And then when you had it, you always thought, this is something nicer I can have now. It was something, it was bizarre. It was something so it was fun to have these nice cars just for a few days, and I always had to give them back. But it was always something, it was never something satisfying about it. It was really interesting. And it was like, if I had this, I bet I'd want something else. I'd want like a bigger one, and more, up to the Lamborghinis, which are super expensive. But anyway,
that's true.
So it's very, when it says like death, they never have enough, and that is so true. Amazing. Anyway, so should we go on to Mark? This is a really interesting one. A bit controversial, this one. Yeah? Have you read this about the use of the word dog? Did you come across that?
Yeah, actually, a few weeks ago we had a very, very good sermon that Ephraim delivered.
Was that on the youth? That was the youth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was from Matthew, but it's the same story.
Right.
So it's Matthew's account of it.
Right.
And actually, it reflects what Vera said about the previous passage. So God wants you to be patient. And here again, Jesus, so he's helping this woman, but sometimes we are, sometimes we are just, we expect God to answer us immediately, and then, but sometimes we need to wait and be patient, and this is what happened to this woman. So she wasn't offended by God saying this.
Yeah, and I think that's a really key point, because there is a lot of discussion about God answers, let the children be fed first, if not fed, take the children's food and throw it to the dogs. But it is kind of like, and it was insulting at that time. As I've read, some people say, oh, but actually dogs are sweet and all the rest of it. But actually, in the context of the time, it probably was a bit of an insult.
Yeah.
But I think your point is really important. It's like, how do you react to being insulted? And it is always difficult. Do you get angry, or do you go, hang on, take a deep breath? And then she replies. She actually takes. She sort of turns it around. She says, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. So she doesn't take offence. I think and that's so. I think it's really important that I think I'm often not taking offence when people throw out insults or controversial ideas, but to sort of stay calm and to still engage in the conversation.
Yeah, so she's humble. She thinks about your daughter, and so she keeps just asking.
Yeah, exactly. She keeps sort of on message. Exactly. So Vera's saying this Mark is one of the strongest to me, exactly because of Jesus' point to the woman's status as not being an Israelite, not being the chosen one. And in some ways it doesn't matter, does it? Because it's like, she's saying, well, in fact, there's still stuff, there's so much food, there's even still crumbs for us. She has faith. She doesn't feel left out. She doesn't feel excluded. She still feels she could be part of everything, part of the kingdom. And Jesus is saying, yeah, great for saying that. It's kind of like, you get it. The demons left your child.
Yeah, but actually it's interesting. I think Ephraim made this point in his sermon,
right,
discussing this passage. So it's not that Jesus didn't want to help her. It may be that he was just testing her.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we expect this immediate answer, and if we don't get it, we get angry. We think that God is not listening to us or something like that.
But I think you're right. I think it is a test, and it's the ultimate way of saying. I think it's his ultimate way of showing us actually that what he brings is for everybody, not just for the Jewish nation. And I think using this term of dogs, and then her sort of not being insulted and going, no, you can insult me as much as you like, but I still believe and I still know that there's crumbs for us as well. And I think he's illustrating a really important point about don't make yourself feel insulted or cut off. And he does say, so for saying that, you may go, the demons left your daughter. So I think it was a very special test there. But it's really a really interesting passage.
That's a strong one.
It's great. Good. Okay, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes. Oh my goodness, we talk way too much. Thank you very much, Vera, for your active engagement. Another mission, I suppose, again, this is about our faith. The woman believes that Jesus' mercy goes beyond our birth status. His love goes beyond everything we understand in this world. Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. You're all part of his plan. It's great. Okay, have a great day, and see you all hopefully tomorrow. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.